I was barely 19, back in '82. It was a bitter November night. So bone-chilling that the cold seemed to seep right through my skin. On such nights, I'd usually take the bus, but this one was different. The rain was relentless, a ceaseless downpour that soaked me to the bone, turning the mere wait for the bus into unbearable misery. And at that moment of sheer discomfort, I made a choice to hitchhike along Pacific Highway South. Little did I realize that this decision would pivot my life on its axis. A maroon Dodge pickup rolled into sight, its tires splashing through the rain-soaked road. Behind the wheel was a man so ordinary, so unremarkable, that he immediately put me at ease. He seemed as ordinary as the falling rain. His face, devoid of any striking features, resembled those of countless men you'd pass on any street without sparing a second glance. He offered me a ride. I reciprocated with a proposition, $20 for a sexual favor. It wasn't much, but it was enough to buy some weed and an escape from my soggy predicament. How was I to know that this man was, in fact, Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, a living nightmare who preyed on unsuspecting women? Now, I have heard rumors of a faceless murderer, and women who disappeared without a trace. But faced with this boring, ordinary guy, those rumors seemed as distant as a bad dream. But, just to be on the safe side, I asked him, "Are you the Green River Killer?" His denial was swift, accompanied by an ID that confirmed him as the uninteresting Gary. He agreed to my deal, and we were on our way. The car ride felt upsettingly ordinary. Honestly, I was just grateful to escape the relentless assault of the rain. We filled the silence with small talk. He opened up about his turbulent marriage, about his unexciting job at Kenworth. The normalness of his life felt comforting, diminishing the fear ignited by my earlier question. The rain started to slow down over the course of the ride. Our journey ended in a remote, pitch-dark area, surrounded by towering trees that formed a shadowy cloak around us. It was near a mobile home park, an area so silent that it seemed we were the only living souls around. He refused to do anything in the car, wanting to step outside. Perhaps it was a fetish, or a methodical plan to prevent any evidence from staining his vehicle, I couldn't tell. I consented, believing it to be just a quirk, a harmless desire. The moment we exited the vehicle, the atmosphere shifted drastically. What had been an ordinary man turned into a beast. Without warning, he pounced on me. His hands, seemingly average just moments ago, now felt monstrously strong, forcing my face into the muddy ground. He attempted to strangle me, his fingers clawing at my throat, tugging at my hair. My senses went into overdrive. The damp earth, the sound of my heartbeat, the smell of fear, the taste of panic. My mind raced, frantic and bewildered. I blurted out, "Why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to take me from my family?" His only answer was an increase in the pressure on my throat. I had to fight and muster all the strength I could, just to fend off this human monster. But he was much stronger than he appeared. Our struggle turned into a wild tumble on the sodden ground. I was beneath him, struggling, thrashing, while he towered above, relentlessly pursuing my life. Then, in a swift surge of adrenaline, I managed to flip him over. He seemed taken aback, his grip loosening just enough for me to wriggle free. I bolted, my heart pounding, my mind screaming for help. I dashed to the nearby mobile home, and pounded on the door until its startled residents came to my aid. Their eyes widened at the sight of my disheveled appearance, their kind hearts reaching out to soothe my terror. I gasped, trying to explain my horrifying encounter with what seemed to be an everyday man. How did I escape his clutches? It could have been the adrenaline from the sheer will to survive, and perhaps a stroke of divine luck. I was very lucky, I would say later, trying to make sense of the harrowing event. It took me 2 agonizing years to muster the courage to confide in someone, to trust the authorities with my story. I went to the police in '84, quaking with fear, doubting if they'd believe me. But I did it. I stood brave. I picked him out of a lineup. He confessed to choking me, but he twisted the story, played the victim, and claimed I bit him first. So, he walked free. The incident haunted me. Sleep became a distant luxury. I developed a debilitating fear of men. I was constantly on edge, scared someone would come to finish the job. But I vowed to not let fear rule me. I was ready to testify against him, to ensure he paid for his monstrous deeds. He claimed to have killed up to 80 women, mostly sex workers like me, during the 80s and 90s in Washington. But in 2003, he only admitted to 48 murders. On December 18, 2003, he was sentenced. 48 life sentences with no chance of parole. An additional 480 years for tampering with evidence. That night changed my life forever. Now I'm a mom, living a quiet life, grateful every day for the extraordinary twist of fate that let me survive.